Hey people, nice little run. Gonna lift some heavy things now. Nice and sunny here. Nice and sunny. They say there's gonna be big rain. My app says it's gonna be big rain tomorrow. Which would be great. We had a bit of rain yesterday, so things are nice and green. It's amazing how quickly the grass and the pasture responds to the rain, how quickly it becomes greener. Super impressed. Yeah. All right, so let's get back to this reality that I chat about from time to time. Just the reality of remembering who we are and the bodies that we occupy, and well, the complexity of our mind to even be able to imagine the idea that I occupy a body, as if they're two separate things, and that somehow I can talk about I as if the I that's talking about the I is different to the I is different to the body. Whatever. Don't want to go down that rabbit hole right now. But just I prefer to walk around the world remembering that my body is not designed, is not adapted, is not made, is not meant for this current economy, this current culture. The body is not made for living in a city on the 154th floor of an apartment complex. Body's not made for that. Body's not made for grinding behind your desk for 60 to 80 hours a week behind a screen. The body's not adapted to microwave dinners and parking off on the couch exhausted watching Netflix. That's all happened very, very recently in the scheme of things. Our bodies are exactly the same bodies that were adapted for hundreds of thousands, millions of years if you count our pre-human ancestors, for hunter-gathering, huntering and gathering. Hunter-gatherers, hunting-gatherers, yeah, for that. We all know what I'm talking about. So, in that, just think about this. So there were certain things that we did not have to develop the urge for. We did not have to wake up instinctively wanting for fun to sprint. Why? Because our environment gave us that impetus. Every few minutes, every few hours, a lion or a bear or a saber-toothed tiger would pitch up and it'll compel us to sprint. We were not compelled to instinctively feel the urge to lift heavy things. Why? Because every few hours, every few days or whatever, a huge tree would fall onto our child and we need to lift it off, or we had to hoist a huge big impala or kudu onto our collective backs and shoulders and carry it 20 kilometers back to our cave or our hovel. So we didn't need to have the instinctive drive to lift heavy things. But those things made us healthy. We now know, all the scientists tell us, that lifting heavy things is super important to our health and our wellness and our mental health being. Mental health being? No, Tim, mental well-being. We know that sprinting is super important. A whole lot of clever people on the internet now say, wow, high intensity interval training, as if though they've figured out something new. No, our species has been doing this for a very, very, very long time. So what am I talking about then? Why am I talking about this? Because there are certain things that our environment compelled us to do that were healthy for us. But there were certain things historically that we were born with instinct for, which made our species healthy. So our instinct to love and care, our instinct to teach, our instinct to nurture our young, our instinct to create homes, our instinct to be able to recognize beautiful land that could nourish us and feed us. We are blessed, outfitted, we are possessing of, whichever way you prefer to describe it, we are possessed with a number of these instincts of things that come naturally to us. But my point, colleagues, I'm not just rambling. My point is that in our current environment, 2025, January, the environment that most of us live in, the urban economy, the urban middle class economy, has removed, that environment has removed certain stimuli that would cause us to do certain very, very healthy things, like sprinting, like lifting heavy things, like fasting. Fasting was just something that came in the environment. Why? Because there wasn't always stuff to hunt and kill. So you would go sometimes for days, weeks maybe, without eating. So we didn't need to develop an instinct to fast because the environment provided that. We didn't need to develop an instinct to lift heavy things because the environment provided. We didn't need to develop an instinct for sprinting because environment provided that. Think of other things on the list. You guys can add in the comment section. So what we do, we have to think very carefully, what does our environment not provide us? And we need to develop habits for those to replace that natural benefit. We need to develop a habit for sprinting, a habit for fasting, a habit for lifting heavy things. Think about that. Think about that. Habits are there to replace what was in the environment naturally for hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of years. Make a list and develop habits for those. Agreed? Thank you. Let me know if it works for you. It's like walking barefoot. Habits like swimming in the water. Habits like sleeping when it's dark. Habits like getting sun on your skin. Habits like breathing fresh air in the forest. All of those would have come naturally. Now you've got to develop habits to get those, just to begin to equal to the kind of health that you would have got, or that your body has evolved to be able to display if it has the correct stimulus.